Seth Rollins steals CM Punk's world title. Why Roman Reigns and Jey Uso beat Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed at SummerSlam. Bron Breakker suffers a serious injury at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns' freak accident at SummerSlam. Scarlett seemingly betrays Karrion Kross. Why Brock Lesnar was mentioned at SummerSlam. Stephanie McMahon gets a new role in WWE. Linda McMahon was spotted backstage at WWE SummerSlam Saturday. Nick Hogan attends WWE SummerSlam to honor his father's legacy. Jelly Roll's WWE SummerSlam debut ends in pain. The Rock's status for WWE SummerSlam 2025 leaked. Let's dive right in. Why Roman Reigns and Jey Uso beat Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso started night one of SummerSlam with a bang, coming out on top in an electrifying tag team match against Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. The back-and-forth battle had fans on the edge of their seats, packed with thrilling moments, and ended with the head of the table and the Yeet Master standing tall. Here's why the former Bloodline duo defeated Reed and Breakker at the biggest party of the summer. Roman Reigns may soon take a break from WWE to film his upcoming Hollywood project, Street Fighter. A loss at SummerSlam wouldn't make sense for the OTC, especially with Jey Uso unable to carry the feud alone against Breakker and Reed on Raw while Reigns is away. This likely played a big role in the babyface's victory over Seth Rollins' faction members. Originally, Reigns was set to face Rollins in a singles match at SummerSlam, but those plans were scrapped after the Visionary suffered a real-life injury, with no clear timeline for his return. With Rollins sidelined, WWE seems to have wrapped up the storyline between Reigns and his faction. The clean win for Reigns and Uso at SummerSlam suggests the company is ready to move on from this feud. Even though Breakker and Reed lost, they pushed the veterans to their limits, with Breakker dominating Reigns at times during the match. The storyline kicked off at WrestleMania 41 when Paul Heyman betrayed Reigns, but Rollins' injury at Saturday night's main event threw a wrench in those plans. Despite Rollins' absence, WWE kept the story alive with this tag team showdown. Now, with Reigns and Uso's victory, Triple H might be setting up new rivalries for the heel faction. Notably, Breakker was protected in the loss, as Reed took the pin, hinting at big plans for Breakker moving forward. Bron Breakker suffers a serious injury at SummerSlam. Night one of SummerSlam 2025 exploded with an intense tag team match where Roman Reigns and Jey Uso took down Paul Heyman's powerhouse pair, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. But the victory came at a cost. The match was packed with wild moments, including a rare dive outside the ring by Reigns and Breakker's daring leap over the announce table. Those high-risk moves might have led to trouble, as the former NXT champion was spotted limping heavily while heading backstage at MetLife Stadium. Fan footage showed Breakker struggling, clearly favoring his right knee, with an official helping him and Bronson Reed by his side. This apparent injury comes just 3 weeks after Seth Rollins, Breakker's faction leader, hurt his knee against LA Knight at Saturday night's main event. There's still hope Rollins might return during SummerSlam weekend, but Breakker's situation looks concerning. It's unclear if he'll need to take time off, and for now, WWE has yet to confirm the extent of his injury. Roman Reigns' freak accident at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns faced a rough night at SummerSlam, taking a beating from Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed in a brutal tag team match led by Paul Heyman's duo. The heels threw everything at the OTC, slamming him through a table, into the barricade, and more. Reigns fought back with a daring dive that echoed The Undertaker's iconic WrestleMania 25 moment and a spear that sent Breakker crashing through the barricade. But a frightening moment came when 27-year-old Breakker wiped out Reigns at ringside, leaving him screaming in pain and clutching near his temple, narrowly avoiding a serious injury. With Breakker and Reed in the ring, Reigns, in his first match back in months, had no chance to catch his breath. Breakker didn't hold back, even taunting Reigns face-to-face, mocking the crowd's chants for the OTC. The OG Bloodline team of Reigns and Jey Uso came out swinging, taking down both opponents early. Lately, Jey has been hyping the crowd mid-match with encore entrances, and he did it again tonight. Fans hoped Reigns would join in, but as Jey stood on the turnbuckle, Breakker and Reed yanked Reigns out of the ring and unleashed a vicious attack. Seeing this, the Yeet Master climbed higher and launched himself off the top turnbuckle, wiping out everyone in a jaw-dropping moment. Scarlett seemingly betrays Karrion Kross. At SummerSlam 2025 Night 1, Scarlett sent shockwaves through the arena with a moment that seemed to hint at betraying Karrion Kross during his high-stakes clash with Sami Zayn. The match was a big one for Kross, with the condition that if he won, Sami would have to admit Kross was right all along, and if Sami won, Kross would have to admit he was wrong. In a wild twist, Scarlett appeared to turn on her partner by handing Sami a steel pipe to use against Kross, but Sami refused to take it. The moment could be seen two ways. Either Scarlett was teasing a betrayal, or she was trying to tempt Sami to embrace the dark side. Kross's character doesn't seem to care about losing as long as it serves a bigger purpose. That purpose was getting Sami Zayn to turn heel, but it didn't work. For weeks, Kross has been playing mind games, trying to push Sami to the dark side. They've clashed before, with Sami beating Kross at Night of Champions. Still, Kross wouldn't let it go, insisting Sami admit he was right. On the July 21st episode of Raw, Kross got a win over Zayn, keeping their rivalry red hot. After multiple backstage attacks, they faced off again at SummerSlam with everything on the line. During the match, Sami snapped. stomping Kross relentlessly until the referee stepped in to calm him down, giving him a moment to pull himself together. Why Brock Lesnar was mentioned at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar, often called Mr. SummerSlam for his unforgettable moments at the event, got a shout-out this year for a specific reason. During Roman Reigns' entrance on Night 1, commentator Michael Cole brought up the OTC's recent SummerSlam opponents. While Reigns didn't wrestle at SummerSlam 2024, he made a shocking return during the main event between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa. Cole highlighted Reigns' past battles, specifically naming Brock Lesnar, who faced the Tribal Chief at SummerSlam 2022. That match was the reason for the mention. In 2022, Reigns and Lesnar clashed in a brutal last man standing match, considered by many the best in their rivalry that started back in 2015. Reigns came out on top after an epic war. The next year, Lesnar faced Cody Rhodes in their trilogy's final chapter at SummerSlam 2023. Cody won, and Lesnar turned face, giving the American Nightmare a nod of respect as he pursued the undisputed WWE Championship. That turned out to be Lesnar's last WWE match before controversy hit months later. Stephanie McMahon gets a new role in WWE. Stephanie McMahon has been a cornerstone of WWE for decades, but lately, she's stepped back from the spotlight. During the SummerSlam Countdown show, the former women's champion joined the panel and opened up about her future. When asked about wrestling again, Stephanie admitted she can't keep up with today's women in the ring and confirmed she's retired from competing. Instead, she hinted at a new role, leaning into her strength as one of WWE's best talkers. She suggested she could take on a role like Paul Heyman's, acting as a mouthpiece for the women's division. Stephanie has been making appearances to support her husband Triple H and has been part of some of WWE's biggest moments. While her in-ring days are done, she's eyeing a new way to shine, possibly guiding top stars in the women's division on both Raw and SmackDown. Linda McMahon was spotted backstage at WWE SummerSlam Saturday. A well-known figure from WWE's past was seen at SummerSlam Saturday, adding a touch of nostalgia to the massive event. Fightful Select reported that Linda McMahon was spotted backstage at MetLife Stadium. No specifics were shared about her role, but with Stephanie McMahon appearing on the SummerSlam kickoff show, it's likely Linda was there to support her daughter during the event. Linda McMahon, once a key WWE executive and on-screen personality, hasn't been a regular at WWE shows for years, making her presence a special nod to the company's history. With SummerSlam Saturday packed with huge matches like CM Punk vs. Gunther and Tiffany Stratton vs. Jade Cargill, Linda's backstage visit highlights the McMahon family's lasting connection to WWE's biggest nights. Nick Hogan attends WWE SummerSlam to honor his father's legacy. The spirit of Hulk Hogan loomed large at WWE SummerSlam 2025, but it was his son Nick Hogan who captured the crowd's attention from the front row at MetLife Stadium. During the broadcast, commentator Michael Cole reflected on Hulk Hogan's passing on July 24th at age 71, highlighting the Hulkster's perfect SummerSlam record with victories over legends like Randy Orton, Shawn Michaels, and Sergeant Slaughter. As Cole spoke, the cameras panned to Nick Hogan, seated ringside, paying tribute to his father's incredible legacy. Nick's appearance followed WWE's heartfelt moments of silence for Hogan on SmackDown, Raw, and NXT, where wrestling icons like Jimmy Hart, Eric Bischoff, and Sergeant Slaughter joined to honor their friend. Hulk Hogan's death was caused by a heart attack, with later reports revealing he had been quietly fighting chronic lymphocytic leukemia. What did you think of seeing Nick Hogan at SummerSlam? Should WWE include him in more tributes to his father moving forward? Jelly Roll's WWE SummerSlam debut ends in pain. SummerSlam 2025 at MetLife Stadium was a huge moment for Jelly Roll, who made his in-ring debut with high stakes and big goals. On Stephanie McMahon's podcast, the music star shared that he'd gotten under 300 pounds for the first time since junior high, showing his dedication to training for the event. Jelly Roll wasn't meant to start the match, but he tagged himself in to go after Logan Paul. He got the better of the Maverick early, landing moves for a near fall. When Drew McIntyre tagged in, Jelly Roll opted to take him on instead of tagging Randy Orton, with the Viper hyping him up from the apron. McIntyre grabbed Jelly Roll by the throat, shouting, "This is the day the music dies!" Jelly Roll fired back with a few shots, but was soon grounded. After taking a beating, he made a hot tag to Orton, who unleashed chaos with a draping DDT and set up for an RKO. Logan Paul pulled McIntyre out of harm's way, but Orton ate a Claymore kick outside. Logan then hit Jelly Roll with a double axe handle and a knockout punch, and after Drew placed him on the announce table, Paul climbed the turnbuckle, toasted with Prime, and crashed through the table with a splash. The crowd erupted, chanting, "Holy shit," for the wild moment. As medical staff began to wheel Jelly Roll away, Orton faced a 2-on-1 onslaught, but the Apex Predator fought back with a superplex on McIntyre, and suddenly, Jelly Roll turned back, limping to the apron for another tag. He charged in, hammering Logan Paul with clotheslines, a chokeslam, and a black hole slam on McIntyre. Paul fought back with a back elbow, and as Jelly Roll countered a top rope move with a slam, McIntyre hit a Claymore kick, followed by Paul's splash to seal the win. Jelly Roll's future in WWE is unclear, but his music career is bound to soar. Losing a ton of weight for this moment was a personal triumph, and despite the loss, he proved he could hang with the best in the ring. The Rock's status for WWE SummerSlam 2025 leaked. John Cena stunned fans ahead of WWE SummerSlam 2025 by returning to his babyface roots and taking a subtle jab at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson during a fiery SmackDown promo. A new report has shed light on the final boss's status with WWE. Back at WrestleMania 41, Cena aligned with The Rock after winning the men's Elimination Chamber match, teaming up against Cody Rhodes. But The Rock vanished from WWE TV, leaving Cena to carry their storyline alone for months. On the latest SmackDown, Cena's heartfelt promo slammed The Rock and his heel turn for shock value, sparking hope that the final boss might return at SummerSlam in New Jersey. However, Fightful Select reports no signs point to The Rock appearing at SummerSlam 2025, with tomorrow's main event locked in as John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Despite Cena's shots, The Rock's status with WWE remains unchanged for the historic two-night event. Plans originally had The Rock continuing his feud with Cody into WrestleMania 41, but those fell apart when Cena turned heel in Toronto, and The Rock stepped away. Rumors swirl about backstage tension between Johnson and Triple H's creative team, though nothing's confirmed. On Behind the Turnbuckle Studios, former WWE employee Tommy Carlucci claimed The Rock deliberately tanked WrestleMania 41 when his ideas weren't used, leaving the company in a lurch with Travis Scott. If he doesn't show up SummerSlam 2025, then we've got some real issues going on, coach. I think he sabotaged WrestleMania 41, coach. He sabotaged, and then they put that Travis Scott on, and then he knew that he was going to ish the bed and people were going to cray all over it, but he doesn't care, man. It's his ego. He's got an angle for everything, Carlucci said. Seth Rollins steals CM Punk's world title. SummerSlam 2025's Saturday night at MetLife Stadium was electric, and the main event between CM Punk and Gunther sent the crowd into a frenzy. CM Punk stepped into the ring aiming to win a world title for the first time in over a decade, but taking down the ring general was no easy feat. The match had a big fight vibe, with Alicia Taylor's ring introduction setting the stage. It started slow but quickly turned brutal. Gunther hammered Punk with vicious chops, trapping him in the Tree of Woe and unloading stiff shots. Punk's chest turned purple as Gunther's precise, lightning-fast attacks wore him down. The Second City Saint fought back, absorbing the punishment and firing off kicks, but Gunther stayed in control, shrugging off Punk's offense. The champ dominated with boots, chops, and a sharpshooter attempt, toying with Punk as the former AEW star struggled. Punk rallied with clotheslines and a back heel kick, finally dropping Gunther. A triangle choke attempt failed, but Punk kept fighting, landing a running knee and bulldog for a near fall. Gunther answered with a top rope slam and splash, but Punk survived. The ring general's relentless chops and a clothesline nearly ended it, but Punk countered a GTS attempt with a powerbomb. After a wild bump over the announce table left Gunther bloodied, Punk capitalized, hitting a flurry of moves. Despite Gunther's surprise sleeper, Punk fought free, nailed 2 GTSs, and pinned him to win the World Heavyweight Championship. The crowd roared as Punk claimed the title, but the celebration was cut short. Seth Rollins, clutching the Money in the Bank briefcase, stormed out, revealing he'd faked his injury. He battered Punk with the briefcase, hit a stomp, and cashed in to steal the World Heavyweight Championship. MetLife Stadium exploded again as the Visionary stood tall, crushing Punk's moment and halting another summer of Punk. Were you shocked by Rollins' sneaky cash-in at SummerSlam?